you. Now, Biden continues to ignore the crisis that he himself created at our southern border as 2024 GOP candidates have vowed to close it, as, of course, the disaster is now impacting cities and small towns in every corner of this country. A fatal stabbing at a migrant shelter in New York City is now shedding more light on the dangerous conditions inside the camps. And yesterday, a group of illegal immigrants tried to steal over $5,000 worth of sunglasses from a New York City Bloomingdale's. The problem has gotten so bad that city leaders there are now pleading for help from the administration. Denver's Democratic mayor is now calling for federal support for the, quote, unsustainable crisis in his city. The city officials in the small city of Whitewater, Wisconsin, they're asking for help as they say the influx of illegal immigrants is putting a strain on resources there. Here with reaction, former acting ICE Director Tom Homan and Fox News contributor Sara Carter. By the way, Tom, Sara, you're part of a new group called what, border911.com, if I'm not mistaken, Tom?
Yeah, it's a nonprofit. Sara's a part of it. I started a nonprofit. It's a 501c3c4, border911.com. It's a bunch of us, immigration border experts, who are going to spend the next year educating the American people on why border security matters. So when they get to the voting booth, they vote for border security because border security means national security.
You know, Sara, you've been down there so many times. You have chronicled how badly that these illegal immigrants are being treated by the cartels. We know about the opioid and fentanyl crisis in the country. But what scares me the most is the sheer number of people that they have allowed in unvetted, coming from countries like Iran and Syria and Egypt and Afghanistan and China and Russia. Why would people from those parts of the world be making their way to our southern border? Are they all coming here because they just want better lives for themselves and their families? Or you think maybe there could be terror cells walking across our border?
Oh, absolutely guaranteed. Guaranteed there are terror cells that have made their way into our country with this wide open border policy. And Sean, you were just discussing, even with Michelle Obama and Barack Obama, this is their policy too. This open borders, non-sovereign policy. So Americans have to understand that. It's just that President Biden is so terrible at it, right? He is so terrible at delivering the message, and Americans are seeing it across the board. This border has been wide open. We know now 32% only approve of Biden's immigration policy. I'd like to know who that 32% is. But right now, what we're seeing is a wide open border. December numbers were through the roof with over 300,000 people coming in. And let me make this clear. Over 85%, this is what we're hearing right now. Bill Malugin reported on it earlier. I've been talking to sources that are saying the same thing. Over 85% are being immediately released into the country. So what we're seeing in Chicago, what we're seeing in New York, what we're seeing in Denver, in Dayton, Ohio, and to top it off, and Border 911 is really focused on this as well, is the over 112,000 fentanyl deaths. So, Sean, you're right. This is a national security alarm that is going off so loud that the American people have one chance and one chance only in 2024 to turn our nation into a right direction and end this open border policy before it destroys our country.
Well, I think it's happening. I mean, you know, in many ways, the fact that we had secure borders under President Trump, Tom Homan, and now they're not secure and they abandoned all the policies that were working. You know, I would say they're going to have blood on their hands. They already have blood on their hands in terms of allowing these drugs into every crevice, every corner of our country. And don't seem to care. They don't seem to care about the human trafficking on top of it. They don't seem to care at all about, you know, vetting people from countries, our top geopolitical foes. That scares the living daylights out of me. You get the last word.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I've done this since 1984, Sean. I spent, 34 years doing this job. And you're right. If President Trump was still the president and I was the ICE director, these people wouldn't be in New York City. They'd be sitting in an ICE detention facility waiting to be deported. And you're right. They don't. This administration has no humanity. A record number of migrants have died on U.S. soil crossing borders, over 1,700. A record amount of Americans have died from fentanyl overdoses. The sex trafficking of women and children are up 600%. The rest of people on the terrorist watch list is over 300 just on the southwest border. 4 years under Trump, 11. 3 years under Biden, over 300. This is a national security failure of huge proportions, and I'm scared to death of what's coming. It's coming, and it's because this administration purposely unsecured our border, the most secure border of my lifetime. They tore it down intentionally.
Clear and present danger, no doubt about it. We appreciate you both. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.